right, guys, what is going on? What is good? Hope you guys are having an incredible day today. Let me see. There we go. What's good, everyone? Welcome to my YouTube channel. I have a special guest for you guys today, my brother Siva. What's good, broski? How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
I am doing awesome. Can you speak just one more time? I want to make sure the levels that everyone can hear you.
Check 1 2 3. Can everybody hear me?
Hey, there you go. So we got a few people on here. I think, well, the phone and the stream are a little bit different, but I think we've got at least about 30 people or so. Let me put you up on the screen, broski. Here you go. Welcome, everyone. Naruto is here first. Sergio's in the house. AJIN is here. Limitless, Felix, Juan, Nick, Jet is here as well. Awesome. So we people have been asking me about a YouTube schedule. I don't have anything specific, but I feel like if you guys think that Monday at right now is a good time, let me know. I feel like a lot of you feel like this is a decent time, early enough for the European side to hop on as well. So if you guys are cool with that, let me know. What's good? Kevin, Juan, another Kevin, Brittany is here, Metal is here, Rashina. Awesome. So we're getting some more people on, which is great. So with Siva, guys, so I plan on being here for at least about an hour and a half, but I wanted to hand it over to Siva for a little bit. I have a couple of questions for him, and if he wants to share something like maybe some trades that he's looking for, or anything that he wants to share with you guys, I'm gonna give it to him. So Siv, if you're ready, are you ready for the first question?
Yes, I am. I'm just here, just dropping it in a few group chats. Get some more people on here for sure. But yeah, go ahead, dive in, man.
I gotcha. So I've known Siva for a little while. I met him in Dallas for the first time, I believe, if I'm correct, it was 2019. And I think if I remember correctly, I think you took a bus from Canada all the way down to Dallas, Texas. So that's a very interesting story. Would you mind sharing with the people your journey on the bus ride from Canada all the way down to Dallas, Texas, meeting us and everyone else for the first time? How was that?
Yeah, so I'd never do that again, first of all, because that was pretty wild. It was I think it was about like 36-hour bus ride. But really, the thing that really motivated me, I actually got started with Trade House and the Academy in February of 2019. And, I started my trading journey then. Right off the bat, the first few months, I really started to build a connection with Zach. He was the one, RJ is the one that enrolled me, but Zach was the one that really started to like mentor me a lot in the beginning as well. And we started to really take off with the business and whatnot. I believe prior to April or something, RJ hit like P1K, I hit P600, and we started to really start to get the ground off with it was actually iMarkets Live at the time, right? It wasn't even IM Academy.
Mm-hmm.
And Jordan Morgan, as y'all know, one of the founders of Trade House, he actually flew up. I think it was March or April. I can't remember. Time is something that I'm not really too good at, but he flew up because we hit those ranks so quickly and started to see results in our trading a little bit as well. And I got to meet him, meeting Jordan Morgan back then. And one thing that he was really mentioning to me was to make sure no matter what, I get to convention. Because I was already like mind blown with the information that Zach was presenting me, with the information that Jordan presented with us too, those few days he was up here with us. And he was just like, yo, make sure you're there. So at the time it was me and Cash and Pips, if y'all know Cassius. We honestly kind of procrastinated a little bit, to be real. Funds were a little tight at the time for us as well, and we kind of just took too long to book our flight, and the ticket was way too hectic. I don't know why. It's just crossing the border, getting to Texas, they charge an arm and a leg. I don't get it. Okay.
Yeah.
But we decided to go with the Greyhound route, from Toronto all the way to Dallas, Texas. That was a 36-hour bus ride. Barely got any sleep. That's for sure. We had to hop on and off a bunch of times. It was pretty crazy, but really, I'm super grateful that I did that though, because if I didn't come to that convention or take that bus ride, I do not think I would be where I'm at today. One of my goals, actually, that specific trip, I said to Mike, Jordan, all of the individuals that were there at the trade house, Daniel was there as well. I'm like, yo, I'm going to move down to Texas. That's my goal. And here I am now, literally 4 years later, living in Houston, Texas. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's pretty crazy to see where things have gotten. But, that convention really inspired me in general. I got to meet, like individuals like yourself, multiple people in general within the educators, within other students. And it really started to embed the vision in me and start to show me, wow, it's not just me doing this. There's, thousands of people all around the globe. So, really started to, paint the vision more and really show that, hey, like I can do this too. And yeah, honestly, it's wild, man. Like I'm grateful to be here, and now I'm also an individual here teaching on the academy too. I never thought any of this was possible back in 2019, but here we are now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I was actually going to ask you, but you already brought it up. I was going to ask if it was worth it, making those sacrifices. And I mean, dude, because 36 hours, man, that's a hell of a long time. So, but
yeah, for sure.
Dude, it's so interesting, and this is why I want to share our stories, because a lot of people still, I think, don't know how all of us came together as a group, how things actually really got started. And I won't talk about me too much because I want this stream to be all about you, but like Daniel, right, like me and him, I had approached his inbox, and we were talking, and then that was like the beginning. Like if I had never reached out to Daniel, I don't think I ever would have been part of the trade house. So it's like these little bits and pieces of our journey and of our story, that make such a difference in the long run. So no, that's really awesome, man. So the next question I have for you is about Wyckoff. So I know that you're deep into the studies of Wyckoff. Can you tell us a little bit about Wyckoff and why you prefer studying that methodology?
Yeah, so Wyckoff is something that Jordan actually introduced back in 2019 as well, because back then they weren't, I think back then Jordan and Zach had one channel together, just like how they are now, but they only taught on crypto, if I'm correct, when they first started off. And one thing that he was, even back then, he really didn't dive super deep into this stuff at the time, because he was fairly familiarizing himself with that too back in 2019. And we used to get on calls with Jordan, and he would preach Wyckoff over and over and over again. I remember I'd gotten on multiple one-on-ones with Jordan during that time as well. And I'm a very much a visual learner. Like, even if I give you guys a quick spin around with my camera here, like I live and die by this stuff. Like I literally have schematics of this, like literally everywhere. I got some schematics over there as well. Like I'm a very visual person, and to me, the Wyckoff logic or methodology really started to show me the ways of how a liquidity sweep works and how the break of structure happens. It was like a visual image of it, seeing it. And obviously I learn from individuals that have the things that I want. So seeing somebody like Jordan, you know, self-sufficient trader, being my mentor, now one of my close friends, I would say.
Hmm.
And, you know, he really, you know, I learn from people who have the things that I want. So if this individual is seeing profitable statistics and accounts from using Wyckoff, and he's been using it, well, I'm using it too then, right? That's kind of the way I kind of move about with that. And, you know, I guess I would call myself a Wyckoffian. I think that's the name he kind of gave himself to. You know, Wyckoff to me, he's, for the ones that don't know, of course, Richard D. Wyckoff or Wyckoff, whatever y'all want to call it. Tomato, potato, right? So, he's actually an individual that used to be a stock operator under JP Morgan, as well as Jesse Livermore, which are two families or candidates, whatever you want to call it, that still operate and move massive amount of liquidity in the markets still till today. And, you know, Richard is obviously not with us anymore. You know, he passed away in 1934. So, it's pretty crazy that even still till this date, the market really moves in the same fashion. But that's the way I looked at it. You know, it's like, you know, we look up to, especially the way we trade here in the trade house, we look at the institutions, right? We look at the individuals that are really moving the markets. We know it's not just average Joes like me and you, John. You know, we know there's bigger entities, bigger players. So when I saw that there's an individual like Richard that, you know, essentially worked under these people, well, if I want to be like the institutions and move along with them, I'm going to follow his methodology. So that's kind of, you know, where I kind of started with things. And, you know, I could share my screen here real quick as well. Show y'all one of the, you know, main resources that actually Jordan introduced to me back then. And I still use till today to learn Wyckoff. And for the ones that are on my Go Lives as well, y'all are very familiar of this. You know, I could actually go ahead and drop this in the chat box as well, you know, on the YouTube stream there. And, you know, it's this website right here, right? School.stockcharts.com. And, you know, just like how I was referring to, you know, this individual literally, you know, was right here, right? Legendary stock operators of his time, right? He observed the markets of JP Morgan and Jesse Livermore. And, you know, even if we go on the Forex Wikipedia here real quick, right? And we scroll down and we look at market participants. Oh, they changed the website now. Okay, there you go. Right, you can still see, like, till this day, right? JP Morgan Chase, right? We're obviously not going to dive down too much down the rabbit hole, but, you know, these families, these entities still till this day control not only the Forex market, but multiple other markets all around the world. And, you know, you can see right here, the Jesse Livermore family, I forgot which bank they're mainly in control of, but, you know, it's the same thing. So, yeah, just following suit of following the money, right? That's one of the things that we preach a lot here in the trade house is we follow the money, right? And to me, studying Wyckoff is a way of following the institutional way of moving money in the market.
Right. And that's one thing too, that's one debate that a lot of traders have on the internet, and I won't get too much into this, but, you know, it's like Larry Williams was talking about smart money in the 70s and 80s, you know, and he was learning from people that worked, I believe it was Merrill Lynch, which was a big bank back then too. And then you talk about Wyckoff, right? You said he died in 1930 something, right? So this was like 90 years ago. And if you look at a Wyckoff schematic, at pretty much any schematic, you guys know that it's either the spring or one of the moves that is manipulation, right? It is that run on stops, run on liquidity. So these concepts, you know, really are timeless. The banks have been manipulating price since the beginning, since the get-go, you know, like since the time of, like right now, actually I've got you in front of the chart, but, you know, we have the luxury of watching live price today, you know, that's why I say sniping in my underwear, because we get to be at home watching live price. But even back then, they didn't have that. They either had to get the newspaper, or they were like quoted the numbers and they would have to write it down, or draw the open, high, low, close by hand and stuff like that. So the idea of smart money has been around for a very long time, longer than anyone in today's generation. So very, very unique that these concepts really are timeless. They've stood the test of time, as I would put it. And you did drop a gem earlier. I wanted to make sure that you guys got that. You said this twice, that you want to learn from people who have what you want. So if you guys didn't catch that, there it is, learning from people who have what you want. And if you guys have liked the video so far, guys, make sure you make sure that you subscribe if you want to see more content from myself as well as Siva, and I will be bringing other people onto this channel as well. So I'll get to the next question. I'll give the floor over to you, and then after that, if you guys in the audience who are here live, if you want to ask Siva something, you can go ahead and do that. So Broski, for the last question, one thing that you have opened my eyes to is health, right? Health and wellness. That you lived in Canada. I've never been to Canada before, but you've came to the US and you saw the food that we have here. I know you've been to Europe as well. You saw the food that's over there. And so I know that you probably have compared and contrasted the food that we have here in the US with food that is everywhere else, and the food here is practically poison, right? If you look at the back of the boxes of these ingredients list, right, we've got these words that are 30 letters long. We can't even pronounce
it.
Yeah, exactly. And you've really opened my eyes to that. And it was at the end of last year, even myself, I was able to lose about 20 pounds just from drinking more water. I've got my water bottle, the Nikan water bottle over there. I've got it. You put me on that, and you put me on all these pretty incredible things. I know you've got yours too. So here's the question. Can you expand a little bit about processed foods and why so much of what we eat here in the US is poison? Can you expand on that a little bit?
Wow, what a question. I honestly didn't expect you to ask me something like that on here, but
It's important.
yeah, it really is. Well, one, I guess it's kind of cheesy to say, but you all probably heard this before, health is wealth. But I truly believe that, to be honest. I know right now I might look a little skinny. I've been working on, working out, actually, gaining weight and stuff like that too. But I've completely shifted my diet, and it's really with the same mentality as with trading, right? We understand that 95% of people in the market, 80 to 90%, whatever the percentage is, that's not important. But mass majority of people within Forex, crypto, stocks, any market really, are individuals that are losing, right? And there's only 5% of people that are profitable. The way I look at that statistic right there, we could also look at the cash flow quadrant. If y'all are familiar with Robert Kiyosaki, I wouldn't take his investment advice personally, but he has a very solid chart about employees on one side, business and investors on one side. And even that's like a 80-20 type of rule. So the way I look at it, this as well is food and the food that we eat, mass majority of the food that is sold at the store and that is mass produced, hence the word produced, is the same way, masses. Why do you think that, we could even go search this up on Google, majority of the world is unhealthy? If we talk about America, America is literally one of the unhealthiest countries in the world currently right now. And it is due to the fact of what people eat. I personally believe in this methodology of shopping on the outside of the aisles and outside of the aisles and never going on the inside, because everything on the inside at a grocery store is produced stuff. you know, it's mass produced stuff. So, you know, let's talk about, you know, Kraft Singles cheese.
Ew.
You can actually light that on fire because there's chemicals in it. Go try it out right now. It doesn't melt like regular cheese does. Kraft Singles is literally plastic, in my opinion. You know, me personally, you know, I've also stepped away from meat. You know, I do call myself a alkaline vegan, not an average vegan, because even vegan food now too is very processed. Like all that Beyond Meat stuff, it's literally soy and seed oils. I would avoid seed oils if y'all are on that vibe. I personally only use avocado oil, sesame oil, as well as grapeseed oil. What I mean by seed oils, you know, I'm talking about like stuff like corn, canola oil, and vegetable oil and stuff like that. You know, there's obviously a lot of things that I can recommend y'all, but you could really tell that, you know, it's really looking at the masses of people and what they eat. And then you look at the more healthier side of individuals, which is a very slim percentage. And, you know, really also, this was the other thing, because when I came to the States, even when I was here for that back in 2019, I obviously got introduced to a lot of different foods and stuff while I was here, like Whataburger, for example. Don't get me wrong, those burgers smack, but they smack you so hard that you fall asleep longer than you should be. You know, honey butter biscuits, all that type of stuff. Like, it's, to me, like fast food, it's stuff that is like, I don't know if y'all have ever, and I can honestly go on a tangent with this stuff. Like, I don't know if y'all have ever seen McDonald's meat. They don't take meat from a regular chicken or anything. Like, it's, I actually sent you a video on this the other day, John, and you got disgusted by it. And it's not regular meat. It's not regular meat. It's not like homestead farm grown chicken or anything. Like, these are chicken that have been injected by hormones, grow bigger than the average chicken is supposed to be.
Mhm.
They're literally like this inside the pens or whatever they call them. They don't move their entire life. They're depressed, and we are eating low vibrational foods, right?
Mhm.
Now, at the end of the day, you are what you eat, right? So if you're eating chicken that has been hopeless and depressed and sad their entire life, now you are ingesting that energy into yourself. So in my eyes, when I see a lot of people that eat that type of stuff, that's what happens, you know? And on top of that, on a bodily type of way as well, people build a gut, you know, they're a little obese on the bottom side, and it's due to the fact that your body doesn't digest this stuff. Now, I want y'all to really, you know, and this might go a little deep for some of y'all, but I want this to hit in a certain spot. I want it to hit weird. I want y'all to think about this. If you're eating something that is processed or chemically induced, we are natural beings, right? We are, you know, I don't know about you, John, but I ain't an AI or a robot. All right. I'm a human being. I have flesh. Like, I could cut my arm. I'm going to bleed. There's muscles. There's all of that stuff going on. So I need to eat stuff that is natural for my body to process that and come out the other end properly. Right.
Mhm.
You know, so when you eat something that is like, let's say, a McDonald's burger, I don't know if y'all know this. Go buy a McDonald's burger and put it in a container and leave it there for 2 years and come back and open it. It looks the same. That's messed up. There's a reason why organic food goes bad so quickly. It's because it's in the word. It's organic, right?
Mhm.
So think about it. If you now leave a burger there for a year, 2 years, and it still stays the same, what do you think that's doing to your body when you eat it? It's staying in your intestines and in your like lower digestive system for years. And I've done a colon, I think it's called a colon cleanse, when you like, you know, cleanse out your intestines. And I don't mean to get a little disgusting here, but this is why I want to bring this up. Guys, I shat out stuff that was not regular poop. Okay? It was not regular poop. Like, it was like black, tarry type stuff. And this was residue and stuff that lingered of years of me eating fast food, Doritos, Skittles, the list goes on. Like, you know, I loved Coffee Crisp. Like, a lot of these processed foods have lingered in my body, and this is a proven fact. Like, some people literally build a gut like that for 5-10 years and it stays there, right? So, you know, that's why I thrive now to eat natural organic foods the best I can. I have stepped away from meat because I personally don't like the meat that's here in America. I will most likely get back into it later on into the future, but you know, I honestly wanted to try things as well. Like, I wanted to just go the alkaline vegan side. You know, I really, for my protein sources, I go more towards chickpeas, lentils, spilt flour. Spilt flour, yes, it's a flour and it actually gives you protein. You know, I go towards ancient grains, stuff like that, and that's been my protein sources that I've been getting. And now that I've actually started lifting and eating more, I know I look pretty skinny right now, but I was actually 100 pounds beginning of December. I've gained, like, I know you said you lost 20. I think you said 20 pounds. I've gained like 18. I haven't checked the scale yet for this last couple of weeks, but I've gained about 20 pounds. So, you know, it's pretty wild. And this is what they push too. You know what I mean? It's all a scam, to be honest. Like, they make you go to a place to go work for this fictionized piece of paper. And now, because you're at work all day, obviously you don't want to go home and cook. So now you're forced to go buy fast food, which is a scam. And then, you know, it's literally all full circle. And it's crazy. The same individuals that own the banks are the same individuals that are owning these food companies. Like, go do the research, family. Kraft is owned by a cigarette company. Okay? What do cigarettes do? They make you addicted. So what do you think they're putting in your food? Why do you, like, fam, I'm not even lying. I loved Skittles, right? If I have any of my high school friends on this stream, I used to buy a pack of Skittles before second period every day. Like, I love Skittles, all right? The Skittles even here in America is messed up. They have like more stuff in it. It's like red 40, yellow 20, and blue something. It's like all of these crazy chemicals and stuff in it. And I just, you know, the way I look at it is this. This is why I always recommend this to anybody. And I'll kind of end it off here because I can really go on a tangent with this stuff. Really read the ingredients and do research on the stuff before you buy it. If you simply can't pronounce something that's on the back of a box, most likely you shouldn't be ingesting it into your body, right? And this goes for anything. You know, like, it's not even just food. It's the products you use on your skin, you know? For any ladies that might be on the stream right now, go do some research on the makeup that you use and put on your skin. Your skin is the biggest organ on your body. So if you're putting chemicals on there, guess what? It's going and ingesting into your body too. It doesn't matter if you use it 7 times a week or 2 times a week, you're still harming yourself, right? So I really look at that stuff more now. Honestly, going down the rabbit hole really helped me because understanding what I eat and understanding what each, and it's like the same thing with trading, you know? Like, John, for you, for example, you can't trade support and resistance anymore, or never, because you've seen the amount of times liquidity gets swept, right? That's what we call liquidity, support and resistance. So to me, it's like, if I continuously do more and more research on something and it's telling me it's bad, it's harmful, and then I'm obviously going to stay away from it. And since I've switched to this diet, no matter what, I'm able to sleep on time majority of the days, unless I'm going too deep down the rabbit hole one night and I stay up too late. But I literally get up at 5 a.m. every single rising, and I don't have a trouble with it. My energy levels are at a peak. Like, we're halfway through the day and like, I'm ready to go. You know what I mean? That's how you should feel. If the food that you eat is making you tired and making you want to take a nap, food is your fuel, is it not? When you put gas into your car, does it go slower or does it go faster? or well, technically that's the fuel that you need to go, but you get what I'm saying though. The fuel that you put into your body should add more energy, not deplete your energy. Because that should just go to show if you're eating something and it's making you take a nap or making you tired, I don't know if you really should be eating that or as much of that. Right? But yeah, man, I don't you can tell I'm obviously very what's the word?
Passionate or just into
about
it.
this. I can really go on about this because I've dug into food as much as I've dug into the charts and about Wyckoff. Like I could really go on about this stuff, but yeah, I know there's a lot of people typing in the chat as well. I've never heard about sunseed oil. I'm not sure of that. Or I don't know if you're talking about like sunflower seed oil and stuff. I honestly haven't used that. And they are swole. Yep, they're swole as fuck. Exactly. It's like chicken should not be like the size of my thigh. Like that doesn't make any sense. You know, they're petite, you know, petite little birds. But then you got chicken running around like an American pit bull. You know what I mean? Like they're not supposed to be that D's. That doesn't make sense.
Right.
Right.
Chris had asked, what do you recommend for a colon cleansing?
Oh, yes. So I honestly don't have it like embedded in my mind right now. Like I would have to, like I have that stuff here written down and whatnot. If you reach out to me, I will get that to you. One thing I have done though, and that I can remember on the top of my head, it's doing juice cleanses. Not literally just doing juice cleanses, you know, for like months on end, but if you do a juice cleanse for a week, it will flush everything out of your system. But hit me up on the side, hit me on my socials, and I'll actually like I have like an actual document that gives you all that info. So I'll provide you with that, or if anybody else wants to do that as well.
And if you guys aren't following him on Instagram, I just left it up into the chat or onto the screen. Sorry, at Slaying Pips. You can follow him. He shares stories all the time about stuff like this, posts and all that. And if you have questions, like he just said, he'll be more than willing to help you out. So, real quick before you go, just 2 rapid fire questions real quick. First one, so you would say that being healthy can potentially make you a better trader? And 2, very, very last question on your way out of here, drop us some book recommendations. Let us know what you've been reading and how everyone can get more insight after this stream is over.
No, for sure. Sorry, what was the first question again? I got the book recommendations part. What was the other one? My bad.
Hell, I just forgot to. Being a healthier person, like getting better food and drinking more water and getting rid of all that garbage that is within us, can that make us potentially better traders, would you say?
So I'm not saying start drinking alkaline water and you're going to get sniper entries. I'm not saying that, but I feel that your body will perform better. And if your body and your mind and everything is performing better, then inherently you should get better results. You know, it's like an athlete. You know, athletes eat premium food. You know what I mean? They're getting top of the line. They're probably paying for Wagyu beef. You know, they're paying for steak that's getting massaged. You know what I'm saying? Like they're getting premium, top of the line type of stuff. And that's the way I look at it, you know? How are these athletes, how are these people able to perform? Because they're not only working out, but they're making sure that the food that they intake is a premium too. So, you know, I'm not saying, you know, eating good is going to make you inherently a better trader just on its own, but it's going to allow your body performance to go up, your brain performance to go up, which inherently over time is going to allow you to see results as well. Because now, you know, I know, John, if you don't mind me sharing, I know this is something that changed for you. Now that you've altered things, you've been able to get up earlier, right? And I know that's something that most people have a challenge with, especially if you're here on the Western Hemisphere. You know, if you're in Cali, I would tell you to move out of Cali because getting up at 3 a.m. in the morning or 4 a.m. in the morning for New York ain't cutting it. I can't do that, right? But but all jokes aside, though, it's like, you know, most people have trouble getting up itself and getting behind the charts. right? And inherently, if you eat at the right time and you do all of that, you're eating the right foods, you know, your body isn't working as much during the night to process it. So you're not going to be as tired when you get up, you know? This is another thing I wanted to add on here real quick too is, you know, ideally you guys should be eating dinner way before you go to bed, like 3 hours or so before you go to bed. Like I personally eat dinner at like 6, 7 p.m. Central, and I usually go to bed around 10, right? So I'm eating way before so that my body can start, you know, digesting that. So when I'm actually going to bed, my body is actually looking to take a rest instead of trying to process food, right? Because now if your body is then there, you know, running overtime, then when you get up, you're going to feel a little bit, you know, zombie-like, right? So that's one thing I would recommend y'all too. And yeah, I would for sure say that really has heightened my stuff. Like now I get up at 5, I get my workout in the rising, like when I wake up, and when I get on the charts, like you know, it's like starting a car engine in the winter. You know, you guys have obviously probably heard this. You don't want to just start your car and just drive right away in the winter. You need to give time for the oil to go through the pistons and the injectors and everything, and, you know, make sure everything is nice and lubricated, right? That's the same thing as our body, right? So when I wake up in the rising, and I know Rock was in here too, he really motivated me to do this, because when I stayed with him in Europe for a year, this man was getting me up. Like I did slack off. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I didn't get up every single rising with him to go to the gym. But one of the things that he really showed me, this man gets up at 5, gets his workout done, and then he hits the charts. So it's like you're awake, your engine is started, and you're like, go, go, go. And I just flick on some Eminem or some metal music and I'm ready to go, because that even wakes me up even more, right? But yeah, you know, that's some other little sidebars there. But book recommendation wise, I have really a few things. Here, actually, let me skedaddle over here for a sec. So I'll give you guys some book recommendations in different areas, because, you know, books, obviously it depends on where you're seeking knowledge, right? And you know, if y'all want to go down more of understanding the smart money rabbit hole, I would read this book right here, Meet Your Strawman and Whatever You Want to Know. This book will teach you, and you could even see here, you know, you got George Washington, you know, you got the founding fathers, you know, of the Federal Reserve literally right there, right? So, you know, the Federal Reserve Bank is literally one of the heads of the entire world. You know, they're in control of the US dollar. So this will teach you more about who smart money is, how is it created, and why it exists. Okay. This book right here, this is a lengthy one. I know John was no bueno with this one, right? But this is a book by Ray Dalio called Principles for Dealing with the Changing World Order, Why Nations Succeed and Fail. You know, this book really teaches you about debt cycles, how different countries have been in ruling during different time periods. Like this stuff dates back like 400 or 500 years. Like he talks about even the Chinese dynasties back in the, I think it was like the 1500s. And he talks about like all of them and, you know, what made them superior to other races. I mean, not races, sorry, countries, and what made them, you know, what made a certain nation successful over the years and what made a nation fail over the years, right? And it really breaks down all of that. Trade's about to happen. You know, this is a good Wyckoffian book. Really dives deep into Wyckoff itself, and this isn't written by Richard D. Wyckoff, but you know, it's by an individual that really studied his teachings. I don't know if he was taught by him or anything, but you know, it's a Wiley trading series. I don't know if y'all have ever read these trading series books, but anyways, this is a nice book that really dives deep into that. And lastly, I am fairly spiritual individual as well. and I've been really diving deep into David R. Hawkins' books. This one's called Transcending the Levels of Consciousness, The Stairway to Enlightenment. This really talks about different conscious levels and how humans ourselves, grow over
Could you show
time.
Could you show the title again?
Oh, yes, I got you.
It's a long title. That's fine.
Yeah, Transcending the Levels of Consciousness, The Stairway of Enlightenment by David R. Hawkins. But yeah, if y'all have studied, David R. Hawkins has a lot of very powerful books. Another one is Power versus Force. And he really dives into human consciousness, how we operate on a singular level and how we operate on a, what's the opposite of single? You get on a mass scale as well, how human consciousness works. And yeah, I've been going down his stuff. This was the first book that I've actually been going through by him. I'm like 3/4 to almost halfway through it. This one's also a pretty large read.
Yeah, it looks like a brick as well.
Yeah, 400 pages or so. But that's what I do, like I go through different books, and then, like usually consciousness stuff like that, I'm reading that on the weekend or like nighttime. And then like the trading books or the financial books and stuff like that, I'll read that in the rising, or, if New York session's a little slow, I might pick it up, set my alarms on my computer, and then I can go about doing things. But yeah, you guys can obviously see, just like John, I don't got a big collection like he does. I actually had to start stacking books upright. I think I was telling you about this, John.
Mm-hmm.
Because going sideways ain't cutting it anymore. So I'm here stacking it up. Damn, I'm losing my voice. And stacking it up. And, it's like I got a little book collection as well, going from finances to trading to conscious development, like all different types of stuff.
Yeah, I can't wait till your son starts reading, because I know you told me that he was kind of walking around, crawling around, and trying to grab those books. So that's pretty awesome. Yeah,
no, for sure. Yeah, we got him as like little board books and stuff right now. Like he loves his books. I haven't even like the TV's in the living room, but we've never turned it on in front of him, so I don't even think he knows what it does. So we're really going that route of allowing him to play outside, be a nature boy, and then, just reading and stuff like that, giving him wooden toys, making things physical. But yeah, that's like a whole nother conversation. Maybe I can hop on here next time and talk about that.
Yeah. No, that's totally awesome. But that's pretty much gonna wrap it up for today's segment. For Siva, appreciate you, bro, for being on here. I'm gonna stay on here a little bit longer if you guys want to stay. But Siva, I know you got some things to do. I don't want to hold you up too long. But on behalf of everyone here, we appreciate you. We appreciate the knowledge and the insight. It's always welcome, and you're always welcome here on my channel whenever you want to come back. So thanks again, broski. Go do what you got to do. Love you, appreciate you, and I will see you next time.
Much love, man, and thank you for having me. I'm excited for the next time. Take care, everybody.
Peace. All right, so that is gonna do it, guys. If you like the stream so far, make sure you give it a like. If you're not subscribed already, make sure that you guys subscribe as well. That helps my channel, that helps put us on other people, in front of other people, right? The algorithm will help do that, so we can help grow this channel. If you guys are not following him already, guys, make sure you follow him at Slaying Pips on Instagram. Don't get got by fake accounts and anything like that. That is his only Instagram, at Slaying Pips. Okay, so now we can get into the charts a little bit. I don't have too much, to be honest, though. I'm really glad I'm still long, though, because it has been pretty blessed. Because remember, if you guys remember from last week, right? Well, actually the last couple months or so, remember that mitigation we talked about back here? Schmacking. Swing trading. Day trading, like, Day trading is awesome. I love it. Don't get me wrong. That's what I predominantly focus on. But days like today, where if you can't find an entry on small time frame, like, cause I didn't get up for the open today. And there was opportunity, but like, you really don't see all too many retracements in here that I typically would look for. So it's like, okay, yeah, I didn't day trade today, but I'm still long on my swing trading account from back in here. So it's like, all right, yeah, we took a little bit of a pullback, but then boom, we're on to some higher highs, and you know, that's pretty awesome. So but just as a reminder, guys, this is not trading advice. I'm not a licensed financial advisor or anything like that. The risk disclaimer is always at the top, and it's scrolling. Trading with real money involves risk. Okay, so if you press buttons, that's on you. Okay, you're in control of that. So what I think about spoos, how often you come on here to look at the charts. So again, like I mentioned earlier, I don't have a specific schedule yet. I haven't solidified it, but let me ask you guys this. I know there's about 70 of you on here still, so let me ask you guys this while I still have you here. What do you guys think about Monday and Friday at this time? So Monday and Friday at spelled that wrong. At 1 p.m. Eastern. Every Monday and Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Is that a good time for you guys? Is that early enough for the European side of the world and everyone else over there? And the US, that's like noon for us, which is the beginning of the afternoon session for the indices. It doesn't overlap with any other streams that I feel are important, so I feel like those are decent times, because everyone from Europe and Australia and Croatia and some of these other countries were saying, John, 7 p.m. EST, it's too late, we need it earlier. So I have hopefully found a solution, because I can't figure out any other time without pushing it earlier and earlier. Perfect timing for your Ps. Trina says, cool, that works on my schedule. Naruto. Nick says, yeah, that's nice. Can you repeat the time and day? So this is, we're live here, right? And even the clock matches the clock on here at the bottom of your, the bottom right of your screen. Today is Monday, January 23rd, and right now it's coming up on 1 p.m. Central, so this would be 2 p.m. Eastern. So we started about an hour ago, about 52 minutes ago, Monday and Friday at these times. And if there would be anything outside of that, that would be announced. Like if there was something on like a Saturday or a Sunday, that would be announced ahead of time, you know, so you guys can prepare. But as far as like a solidified schedule, what I'm thinking is every Monday and every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. So hopefully you guys can appreciate that. Real quick, while we are here as well, because I think about 1:30 is going to be the latest, because I have another stream 30 minutes after that, and I will not be on YouTube at that time. So I know we talked last week about British pound. We talked about the 124 level, and I wanted to see us push past that. You guys remember that from back over here? And we literally were just struggling in that area like all afternoon. I wanted to see it jump up there. I wanted to see us, you know, get some speed. We didn't do that. We eventually did a little bit later, you know, barely trading over that. And then on Sunday, we ended up running and continuing up to the 124.48 level, which was above the high of January 18th. So a lot of what we did last week when we were looking in here, as well as the Dow Jones, remember I was saying that this is a good short setup, but it's against a higher time frame. It's against the level of liquidity that we were aiming for. So we expected those short setups to hit the stop loss. And so, of course, you know, and even on those sessions, I was saying, don't trade this, don't short this. Right? So if you did, you likely got stopped out. and that was to help give you guys not just to the insight on experience, but to really give you the context on why, even though the setups can be clean, they can be crispy, they can still fail. Okay, because ultimately liquidity is what rules the market for the most part. You know, other than like interest rate differentials and a little bit of seasonality here and there, but as far as like intraday timing goes, intra-week timing as well, liquidity is what we look for. So given this image, I think I shared this on Discord a little bit earlier. If you guys have not already, if you're not already in Discord, there's the link, discord.gg/treehouse. I'm pretty sure that the link is also in the description. I can't see the description right now, so but there it is. But if you're not part of the academy, I don't know if you're going to be able to see the chart markups that I'm able to look at, or that I'm able to show you guys to be able to look at. But what I basically was looking for is, we came up here, right? So it looks like we've got that liquidity. The liquidity above these highs was, you know, both of those seem to have been absorbed. We got this monstrous move to the downside, and now we have rallied a little bit. And to me, I was just looking at this imbalance today, and I figured, okay, well, I'm still, you know, looking for downside potential for British pound below 123.10, maybe even the 123 level. You got the little eyeball there as well. Okay. Do you look at the charts and try to predict future outcomes, or just training? So I'm not entirely sure how to answer that question. So what I taught you guys yesterday was discernment, or the other day on the last couple streams was discernment. So the recordings are trainings, because obviously, you know, it's recorded content. It's showing you concepts or what I believe about certain things and stuff like that. When we come on here, I do like to tell you guys where I think the market is going to go if there is a if there's something that's high probability. So like right now, for example, the Dow Jones today's the weakest index of the three indices of the Dow, of the S&P, and of the Nasdaq. But you know, you have on the micro level as well as the E-mini, these levels up here, 34,131. Okay, you have triple highs right there. So if we get obviously bullish movement from here, that would be an upside target for myself for the Dow. Okay, I'm not long on the Dow. I'm actually long on the Nasdaq still, the ETFs, and you can see the mass difference between the three. Right, look at the triple Qs. Okay, it's up 2.5% today, whereas the Dow is only up 1%. So I'm long on the triple Qs as well as the S&P, but not trade advice, not financial advice. I'm not saying to press any buttons. I'm just saying for clarity's sake, or transparency sake rather, I do happen to be long from the Nasdaq somewhere down in here, and the S&P somewhere down in here as well, definitely below 382. I think it was like 380, 381 to 80s, I think. So right about in the middle of that consolidation. The intro was kind of shit, but I mean, it's a non-margined account, so it's not like drawdown would be the worst thing in the world. So you know, it's not too big of a deal. But yes, I still happen to be long again on the S&P as well as the triple Qs. Okay, but the Dow, from that consolidation, I mean, we're barely coming out of that. Like, that's sloppy to me. That's very weak, and I would not prefer to be long on something that's weak. I would rather be long on something that is strong. Okay, so there you go. But what we haven't done yet, what I might look to do soon, no promises, is to actually come in here probably in the morning, or like today, for example, the afternoon session, and actually watch certain things, like watch certain setups. you know, like the open, for example. Like, oh, we opened, we dropped down, you know, we swept these lows. Let's see if there's any retracement and, you know, stuff like that, which if that is what I was looking for today, obviously we didn't get that. You know, like we left this imbalance here. I probably would have wanted us to come down into that and then trade higher, but we didn't get that. So I probably would have been wrong. So, you know, there's some more transparency for you. As far as the afternoon session goes for today, I really don't know. You know, obviously the indices are trading higher, right? You see a higher high on NASDAQ, you see a higher high on the S&P, and you barely see a higher high on the Dow. So, could we find shorts? I mean, maybe, but that's not what I would look for today, preferably. Although we have met some pretty fairly decent liquidity though, above the high from January 17th, right? Those two highs here on the 1 hour, we beautifully have met that today. But, you know, I think some people get this confused as well. Not every equal highs or not every like low resistant highs are going to be reversals. Okay. It's not always like that. Let me see. What confirmation do you use to know which index is the weakest or lagging? Is it based on liquidity capture and structure? It's based on relative strength analysis. Relative strength analysis. What do you think about the treasury bonds? It's been making lower lows. I haven't looked at treasury bonds in a minute. It has been a minute. See, this is Friday, December 30th. Friday, December 30th is there. Okay, so check this out. The treasury bonds. Okay. On the weekly and daily, it kind of looks junky. All right, but that's just futures data. It's only going to go back so far because, you know, there's contracts, they end, they start, and so you're going to have, you know, very thin volume, and then you're going to have like, you know, your majority volume. So a lot of this is going to be sloppy. But if you look at it from a weekly perspective, notice that last week of December, how we traded into that imbalance right there. The daily looks a little bit different. Not so much an imbalance. You do have like that gap right there. And then you have these two lows, not very clean per se, but you know, they're there. When the market makes that low in December, the last day of the year, actually, December 30th, Friday the 30th, right? We responded from that and have rallied and then took that high on the 19th. Notice that when treasury bonds made a low on the 30th, that same day for the S&P is right there. Okay, so the S&P did not really do anything for a couple of days, but then we do start to see higher pricing and basically getting back in sync with the treasury bonds. So honestly, I like treasury bonds, and in a lot of cases they will lead the indices, but I have gotten it wrong before, and I put a lot of time into studying it, but you know, by no means am I an expert on, or I wouldn't call myself an expert on the treasury bond and indices relationship. When it comes to the indices, I prefer obviously top-down analysis, weekly, and then daily, you know, 1 hour, 15, 5 minute, 1 minute. But I have not looked at the treasury bonds as often as I should. But they are a pretty good higher time frame tool. So hopefully that helps. But I mean, it's nothing that's, for me, it's like, that's not my best tool out of everything that we have, you know. So there you go. Can you explain more on relative strength analysis? Yes. If you go to my YouTube channel, I mean, I know you're here, but I'm saying if you go to the videos, there's a video from 8 days ago called Divergence Relative Strength Analysis. Okay, let me see if I can pull that up. Okay, there you have it. Divergence Relative Strength Analysis with myself. This was put out about 3 years ago, a little less than 3 years ago. This was the video that put me on the map as far as within like the trading community of the IM Mastery Academy. This video I did for I forgot who it was. I think it was a group called Traders Empire, and you know, a lot of people enjoyed it, a lot of people liked it. I don't see a need to redo that video, but that's going to tell you a lot more, and that's why that's up here on the channel, so you guys can watch that versus me coming up here on the live sessions to be doing that. So again, as far as what today does for this afternoon, I really don't know. I really don't. I'm not convinced to take longs. I'm definitely not convinced to take any shorts. So as far as like what I'm gonna do, probably just take today. You know, kind of like what Siva said earlier, you know, if nothing is going down, if nothing's happening, then it's better to just take the time and go read or study or something like that. So what else we were looking at? British pound, that's right. The euro is kind of garbage as well. But yeah, so again, that's what that looks like on a 1 hour. And we did sweep yesterday's low. You see that? Like previous day's low. And obviously the market has traded back in within a range. So this is where, like myself, and I know a lot of people do as well, get tripped up in areas like this where, you know, liquidity up here has been taken, liquidity down here has been taken, and then we're back in like the middle of the range. It's on the lower end. It's not like exactly halfway. It doesn't take a genius to see that. You know, like halfway is about right there, and we're kind of close to that. So directionally, I would like to be bearish on British pound. Okay, I would like to be bearish because I think 123 could be a nice target. But would I take something right now? No, I wouldn't take anything at the moment. So we'll have to see what London does, and then what New York does probably tomorrow, and then go from there. Know what I'm saying? But let's see. So we'll give it like another 20 minutes or so. I mean, I'd like to be on here for longer, but we got other responsibilities. Know what I'm saying? Let me see. But we got all-time highs today as far as viewers though. As far as live viewers, we actually maxed out at 89, which is pretty cool. So hopefully next time we can get to 100. That'd be pretty great. So but yeah, you guys have anything else? You have any other questions? You can feel free to ask. While I catch up on some of the Instagram notifications. Because unlike a lot of leaders per se, I don't ignore my people. And if I do, it's not on purpose. But, you know, we all start somewhere, and I despise when I get left on red. It's like, it's nothing personal. It's not about that. It's just the fact it's like, we're gonna do a leadership call pretty soon, just so you know. I'm gonna drop all the sauce, not all of it, but like a very, very solid amount of what I believe about leadership. Okay, and this won't be the first time that you hear this from me, but you know, for myself, I believe that the heart of leadership is servanthood. Okay, is servanthood. So you got to have a heart for serving other people. And I cannot find my logo. There we go. You have to have a heart for serving other people. You have to put other people ahead of yourself. You know what I mean? So all of this, well, I don't have time, I have other things to do. There is nothing more important than other people when you're a leader, period. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. So if you're a streamer, you stream for your people. If you're an educator, you educate for your people. If you teach, you know, if you're a sales manager, teach your people how to sell shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's all about serving other people and putting others before yourself. And if you can't do that, then you're why even lead? Just do something else. You know what I mean? So Sharo eating and watching the stream. I have not eaten my lunch, and that's the purpose that we're going to be off here at 1:30, because I need to have that 30-minute break so I get to eat. I get to, I don't know, probably go outside at some point, get some fresh air before we come back in for another stream. Okay. Let me see. How do you make the difference between swing entries and day trade entries? So if swing entries are usually going to be based on the higher time frame, anytime that I swing trade, I usually get drawdown. It's usually the day trades that get very little drawdown, and that's only because of those small time frames. Those small time frame entries, you spend a little bit less time in drawdown. Now, day trades can turn into swing trades, but if it's a day trade and I know it's a day trade, I will usually collapse the trade before the close of the stock exchange. So it really just, it depends on what you want to do. Like if I like the indices on the higher time frame, but I can't really find like a small time frame entry, then that's when I'll take drawdown, because I'll get in, but I know, like, all right, this is probably not going to be the greatest entry, but I know that 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, that the probabilities are going to be that it's going to be much higher. Like, for example, on the S&P, right? Like, look at this. We came off of that mitigation here, ran back in it one more time, but we stayed there for like a couple weeks, right? So that was stagnation for a little bit until we ran recently, minor retracement, and then like today, right? Nice, beautiful up day. We've made a higher high. Today's a good day on the swing trading account, but I have not done anything intraday. Nothing intraday, and probably won't. Probably won't. Because I'm just not liking it. You know, if we had like some equal lows or something that was like pretty juicy, you know, okay, that'd be cool for like a scalping kind of thing. So let's see. We have some fairly not equal, but some very close together lows for the NASDAQ around 11,909, like me like 905. So we'll see if price ends up trading back below that. We'll see. But I mean, I'm not really seeing like something that I would deem tradable at the moment. But we'll see how it goes. We'll watch it for a little bit, because again, there's only gonna be like 15 minutes left. into today's session. But I thought you had left the academy. So I didn't technically leave. Okay. I never technically left. But I put stuff on YouTube so you guys had content, because within a couple of hours, all access to me was gone. So I didn't know what to do, because number one, I didn't think that would happen. So I thought to myself, well, shit, what am I gonna do? People want to see my content. I gotta do something. So that's when I went and I spent those like 3 days on a computer just finding old videos, putting up what I could, not putting up certain things, you know, that was like either too old or just not worth watching. So I put out some stuff, made the thumbnails, redid the channel artwork, all that stuff, you know, so you guys had something. But I technically never left the academy. And now my channel's back up again. I'll be able to stream today on Power Hour, and I'll be able to stream tomorrow on Power Hour and my own channel again. So short break, about a week off, but technically I never left. Okay. Follow-up question: how long do you typically expect to hold your swings? Is it at least 2 weeks? I mean, for the S&P, it depends. Like, for example, today would probably be a good day to take some out and maybe let the rest ride with a stop, you know, above my entry. So that way, if it comes back, I won't lose. And if I've taken something out, that means I've gained. So at the end of the day, you know, as long as the market doesn't just gap overnight, like something catastrophically terrible, then that might be all right. And then I would ideally want to leave us a portion on, because, you know, like super long-term trading, I have called out trades before, like that were massive. Like I've never seen anyone call something bigger than shit that we did for like coffee. Okay. Other than the crypto market, of course. Okay. I will give you guys everything on the crypto side. I'm absolute hot dog water when it comes to crypto, but certain commodities I've called trades that ran for years, and you know, I'm not very good at that on a consistent basis. I usually call like 1 or 2 trades a year like that. But when it comes to the S&P, you know, I'm not someone that's looking at this and I'm going, okay, this is our low for the year. I have no fucking idea if this is going to be the low for the year or not. Like, I'm not trying to predict that. But in the event that it does end up being the low from the year, right? Like, let's say we come up, we make a new high, we retrace, and then we just keep going. Like, okay, that is a strong possibility. And if I'm in at potentially the low of the year, well, shit, I want to hold on to that. You know what I mean? Because that's a whole lot less work. That's a whole lot less work, because I'm already in. It's just the patience side of it after that. So I don't really have a timeline on that per se. I'm not, again, I'll say this just for clarity's sake. Super high time frame, like on the weekly and monthly, I am not very good at. I'm just not. Okay. So I don't. But hopefully that answers the question. Do you have a video on the industry's opening price and how to position yourself within or with price action in time for scalping? I do. I have a video coming out already that teaches about the New York opening price, but I did explain that on the first live that I did here. Not the first one, that was like 6 minutes long. The follow-up to that, I think it was an hour and a half long. I talked a lot about that opening price and how I use it, what I look for, and all that. It's very simple. The idea is buying below the open if you're in bullish conditions, or shorting above the open if you're in bearish conditions. And then same thing inversely, if you're going to buy below the open, if there's liquidity above the open, perfect. Or vice versa, if we're shorting above the open and there's liquidity below the open, you know, It's just a logic. It's a reference point within price action. And that's it. There's nothing really more to it than that. I try to keep things as simple as possible. I try not to overcomplicate things, because I think the more you overcomplicate things, the more likely you're going to run into analysis paralysis and just confusion, or you might demand too much. Like, well, I need like 5 things to line up or 6 things to line up, and you may not get that. You may, but you may not. You know what I mean? So again, I'll leave this up here for a little bit, but just like last week, it's been a massive up day, and I'd like to see liquidity runs on the downside, but I'm not willing to actually put a trade on today. Okay, I'm not willing to. Paper trade's different. You know, if I want to log into a paper trade account and just like kind of mess around, that's all right. But as far as like an actual, like, I'm not willing to put money on the line that this is going to go lower. Okay. Smart money trap. I have no idea what that is. Everybody, you know, has their own thing when it comes to smart money at this point. It's almost like smart money is not even smart money anymore. You know? So. But yeah, I've never heard of that. What do you think about Euro and Bitcoin? Well, if I'm bearish on British pound on an intraday basis or an intra-week basis, then that would probably mean bearish Euro as well. Bitcoin, like I mentioned earlier, with crypto, dude, I suck with crypto. Okay, I don't know why. It ain't good. If it was me, I've traded crypto before and I've done okay, but as far as like crypto projects, holy shit. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. Helium, garbage. Well, at least from a certain point. At the beginning, it was all right, but over the long haul, HNT, shit. Planet Watch, you know, with the aware element, that was shit. That was to be expected. No, I'm not really surprised. And yeah, so crypto projects, you do not want to listen to me when it comes to crypto projects. But as far as Bitcoin, what I would do if it was me, I would compare Bitcoin and Ethereum together, and if you get any finesse within that, then I would go with that. I've done that before too. Know what I'm saying? Is it best to buy or sell above the weekly open or daily open? Well, ideally both. Well, in a perfect world, you would line up like a 5-minute, a 15-minute, a 1 hour, and a daily. Like the stars align, you know? Which would be buying below the weekly open, and then buying below that day's open, and then buying below that session's open. After a run on liquidity. That's what I would do. But trying to catch just that is, you're gonna miss a lot of setups trying to do that. But if you end up getting there, that's a trade I would put full risk on without an issue. What's going on, Bankless Punk? How are you doing? And D Jimmy, the euro is disgusting. British pound had those lows that I talked about. Euro has very different. Oh, I lied. Those are the same lows. The same day. The 19th, right? Just about January 19th. January 19th. Oh, okay. No, never mind. Those are the same lows then. Well, at least they line up as far as like timing wise. I'd be fairly short on the euro. But again, I feel like British pound might be the better option. And I could be wrong on that. Just like anyone else. That's always the case. You know, I'm not right 100% of the time. Diamond set up 3x below the open and liquidity sweep. Yeah, there you go. Weekly open, daily open, session open, post liquidity sweep. But if I told you how many times I traded that, it probably wouldn't be all that many. It's hard. It's hard to look for. And you got to be patient. Like, really fucking patient. Because that's only like once a week, bro. You know? It's difficult. Difficult. The patient side is difficult, is what I mean by that. Yeah, this doesn't all look entirely that great. But it's cool. All right, guys, I appreciate the likes, but we only have 52 likes, but we have 60 viewers. So, guys, if you have benefited from this stream, if you got, you know, at least one thing, help put this channel on the map, help us get in front of other people by subscribing if you haven't already done so, and make sure you like it as well. I would greatly appreciate that. And there it is. There it is. Hey, there it is. Boom. Subscribe, hit the notification button so you don't miss future content. Okay, but again, I will try to put out a schedule so that way you guys, you know, can have that instead of trying to rely on Instagram or whatever else. You know what I mean? All right, so since we're going to end the stream here in just a second, let me give you guys something to watch. What I would do is mark up 2 to 3, which is again our profit taking hour. I usually call it. Just watch it. Just watch it. That's all. And see what happens within this time window. If it goes up, great. If it goes down, great. If it just stays sideways, great. Okay, go into it with no expectation. Right? But John, you're bearish. Well, yeah, I am. But that's just because I like being right. So, although I'm not putting money on it, I want to see if I'm right. Okay? I know ego is the enemy. I get it. Ryan Holiday. But it's just, sometimes this is a sport to me. Sometimes it's not about, you know, making money on every single trade. Sometimes it's just about seeing, you know, if I'm able to be correct. So just over the next hour and a half, just watch it. And that's it. Christine, much appreciated. Patience pays. Yes, it does. Callan, thank you. Thank you for your free appreciate your time. Yeah, thank you, Lewis. I appreciate your time as well. And thank you guys for the likes and the subs. We have crossed over 4,500. Now, I've had my channel for a long time. I've had it since 2015. We are at 4,520 something. So our next stop is 5K. That would be really, really cool. 5,000 subscribers, be at an all-time high. And it's just one of the goals that I have, you know? Well, I have it as of now. I probably should have got on YouTube earlier, like last year, but it's fine. Are you still streaming on the IM usual schedule? Yes. Yes, we are back like I never left. So I'll see you guys on Power Hour, and I'll see you guys on Channel 96 as well. And you guys can hear the music, right? Because I watched the recordings, a couple minutes of the recordings, and the music was very faint. But you guys can hear it, right? Like we're vibing out, vibing. Because listen, I don't know what it's like. You said no music. For real? You don't hear music? Shit, I hear music. Catalan, are you listening through speakers, or do you have a headset on? Nestor says no music. So we have had no music this whole time. Dude, I've been playing music this entire time. How about that? Or is that too loud? But mic check, mic check. What's the system? Is that a good level, or is it too much? I can lower it a little bit. Maybe like that. I'm not sure what the threshold is for you guys being able to hear it and not hear it. Oh, but it's also going to fade in and out. So give it just a second. Okay, you should hear something right now. Shit, man, we've been here this whole time without music, bro. I'm sitting here listening, I'm vibing, and you guys are just listening to me rant. That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, like I said, guys, I'm not perfect. Do I look like a sound engineer? Well, that's debatable. But am I a sound engineer? Absolutely not. I can barely run OBS, man. What time's the New York session open? The stock exchange for me is 8:30 a.m. The New York for FX is 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. EST. I'm pretty sure. I'm Central Time. I'm Central Time. So right now it's 1:32 for me. So if you're Eastern, it's going to say 2:32. But I always make sure to try and put that in here. I am Central Time. So, anyways, I've given you guys something to look for. Hopefully I've given you guys some gems. I know Siva dropped some gems as well. So I'll go ahead and cut it here. Watch the last hour and a half. See what we do. Just watch price action. That's all I'm saying to do. Just watch it. Get some experience. Take some notes. And really go from there. So I got to take a break because I got to get something to drink. I got to eat before the next stream. I got to go outside, get some fresh air and all that. So thank you guys so much for being here. We'll be back here same time on Friday. Okay. So 1 p.m. EST on Friday right here on this YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much. Y'all be blessed. And I will see you then. Take care.